So we're getting a brand new vision card that's water type for water mages specifically, and there's not a lot of them in War of the Visions, even if we take a look at what JP has on their side. So today we'll take a look at the stats, the abilities, and then whether I think it's worth going for or not, depending on your account. So, first of all, looking at the alternatives for this card, since it gives magic attack up for water units, I think there's two other cards you might run on your units if you want more damage on them. The first one is Trousseau, which gives magic attack to everybody, so you're not element limited, and then the other one is Siren. If you're running a water team, you might want water attack since it also influences your physical attackers instead of just the magical attackers. Still though, in terms of stats, it's pretty good. 302 HP is okay, 168 magic is kind of the standard for magic-oriented vision cards, so it's not great nor bad, but 3 agility is really good. Looking at everything we have on screen, I would pick Guidance from the Stars as my first choice, because the extra 3 agility is worth way more, in my opinion, than the 22 magic you're lacking compared to Trousseau. So here, it's a good point for it. Now, I think where this card provides the most value is really the individual abilities. Water units that have this equipped are going to gain 10 Spirit, which is really good, especially for a unit like Moore that already has a high innate Spirit. You can easily get her to 70 or so with a Spirit-oriented build and this VC, which means that she will be able to survive magical attacks very well, and she becomes kind of a magic duelist. The 10% magic up is not worth much, we'll look at the exact numbers in a minute, but that barely gives you an edge. It's not major, and the 5% crit down is not terrible either. Crit damage is not a huge deal in War of the Visions, so I don't think it's going to lose you a match ever. If you're specifically Moore or Ramada, you're gaining an extra 15% slash resistance and 5% HP. Again, 5% HP is basically nothing, but the 15% slash res is pretty important, especially for Moore. I've been trying her in Arena for the last week, and she dies to a single hit from an enemy Dwayne or Titus, so somebody with powerful slash attacks. I'll have to try her out with this vision card maxed eventually, but it just might be the difference between dying in one hit or barely surviving one and then requiring a second hit to follow up. So I think that part is a huge deal. Ramada, I don't think she'll ever really use this card. She has the Astrologer card that gives her much better bonuses, and, well, this one only gives magic and no attack, so it's really weak for Ramada overall. So it's really more of a Moore card. Then the party ability is going to give 35 magic attack up, 13 crit damage up, so it has a little bit of synergy with units like Titus that are going to crit very often, and then it decreases activation time by 10%, which isn't bad, but I don't know how impactful this will be at most matches. Again, it's a party ability that really influences mages more than other units, so it means units like Titus don't get much out of it. Like, yes, you're going to cast Heiska a little bit faster, but that probably won't make a huge difference in your matches. So if we're looking at 10% magic for Moore or the future Aerith, it's around 40. So yeah, 35 magic, 41, that's good, but it's not a huge difference. It's not like 100 extra magic that's going to give you a significant amount of damage. And then for our non-EX UR water units, we have 23 on the side of Ildira, 20 for Miranda. It's really not a lot. Same goes for the 5% HP, 140 extra HP will not make you survive. Like, how often do you survive in War of the Visions with less than 200 HP? It basically never happens. So yeah, maybe it'll come in handy, but I think in most scenarios, the one thing you want is the extra spirit and the extra slash resistance in the case of Moore. So looking at these, like, why would you want to get this card? I'm not that sure. It is best in slot for Moore. It gives you a lot of offensive stats with the magic up and then the cast time down, but it also increases her survivability by quite a bit, which is why I think it's going to be great for her. The stats are good, and it's going to be very powerful, especially for spirit builds. But the thing is, it's both element and type exclusive, so you need water mages to run this. It will very rarely see play. If I wanted to run Moore alongside Titus, for example, well, I might prefer running Siren on Moore. Yes, she'll be a little bit squishier, but she'll have the extra water attack up that will also influence Titus's damage, while the magic attack up for water units will only influence, like, Aerith, Ildira, Miranda. We don't have a lot of water mages right now, so the affinity, even with other water units, is quite low. I'm personally going to go for this card because I think it's interesting and I want to run more in CM, where I think the extra stats might do a difference. But for the vast majority of players, like if you have either Siren or Thanks for the Votes or the other water-oriented vision cards that we have, I don't think you need to go for this one. Sure, you might eventually naturally pull her and then throw it in the hard quest, but don't pull for that. I don't think there's much value for it, unless you have, like, Viz sitting around and you're wondering what to do with it. So that's it. It's a fairly short one. I think the card is very straightforward, but if I forgot to mention anything, or if you see a use that I don't see to the card, let me know. I'll be very curious to hear about it. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and then have a great rest of your day.